please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, so today it's time for another draft profile looking at the top prospects in the upcoming 2020 NHL draft. And today we're going to be talking about the #1 rated defenseman heading into the draft, projected top 5 draft pick, Jamie Drysdale. Before we begin, I just ask that you please hit that subscribe button if you're new and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, so those likes really go a long way in helping the channel. But let's get into it here, talking about Jamie Drysdale as we flip over to the other screen here. Defenseman, as I said, the top-rated defenseman heading into this draft, the #1 defensive prospect. He's a little bit on the smaller side, 5'11", 170 pounds. Obviously, as he gets older, I do think he's going to put weight on, and he'll probably end up somewhere around 185, maybe 190 pounds. But he certainly is on the smaller side. He's coming out of the OHL, where he played for the Erie Otters. Last season in Erie, he had 49 games played, 9 goals, 38 assists for 47 points, 24 penalty minutes, and a +9 rating. Obviously, almost a point per game as a defenseman in the OHL last year, so those are outstanding offensive numbers. I have him ranked #4 overall in my 2020 draft rankings. There is so much to like with this kid. His skating, his intelligence, his hockey IQ is really high. The way he plays the puck, he's got tremendous offensive upside. And I think has a chance to end up a lot better defensively than people realize as well. So just in watching tape, watching highlights and video of Drysdale, some things that really stood out to me. He has a very quick and accurate shot. Not pulling back and ripping clappers all that often. This is not a Shea Weber type shot. It's it's not the hardest rip in the world, but it's very accurate. He has a quick release. He gets it on goal, and that is absolutely huge because we see these defensemen with these absolute bombs of shots come into the league, but if you only hit the net once out of every 5 times, it's really not all that effective. And with the level of shot blocking we see in the NHL these days, you gotta be accurate. And his shot, while it certainly isn't the hardest shot, I don't think he's going to be ripping 110 on the radar anytime soon. He certainly gets it on goal most of the time, and that's so good for rebounds, deflections in front, and just the ability to create offense from the point. He's also a great distributor of the puck. He did not have 38 assists last season for no reason. And again, for an offensive-minded defenseman, it's absolutely crucial that you're able to move the puck effectively. And whether it's a breakout pass from his own zone or quarterbacking the power play as kind of that top point guy on the power play, he can do really move the puck in all 3 zones very, very well. He's a great passer. Obviously, that is huge. Incredibly smooth skater. One of the best defensive skating or best skating defensemen that I've seen, really up there as far as the top offensive fast defenseman that we see in the league as far as his skating goes. Very, very smooth. Moves extremely quickly, and that's obviously important for jumping up into the play as well as getting back defensively if you need to get back quickly. And that's the last thing I really, really notice is he jumps into the play a lot. And obviously, where he was playing in the OHL, he had the go-ahead from the coach to do that. And I think when he gets to the NHL, he's going to get the go-ahead from the coach to do that because of his skating. He is never afraid to jump into the play. On a lot of his highlights, it's him jumping up, being the 3rd or 4th guy into the play offensively. And really, as soon as that puck exited the defensive zone, he was flying up the ice trying to get into it offensively. So huge upside potential with Drysdale offensively. Defensively, it's a little tough to tell. Obviously, highlight tapes generally don't highlight defensive play as much. Haven't seen as much of him on the defensive side. He's a little on the smaller side, so a big thing, his skating is going to play a massive role in whether his defensive game translates to the NHL or not. It's going to be very, very important that he continues skating at the level that he skates at, and even better as he makes that jump to the NHL. That obviously can really offset the size difference. If you're that much faster than everybody, that's huge. And the other thing is going to be positioning, both body position and stick positioning, particularly stick positioning for a smaller player, because when he's going out there in the NHL against guys who are 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds, he is not going to muscle them off the puck. That's just not a realistic thing to happen. So stick positioning is going to be massively important for a defenseman like Jamie Drysdale, for someone who, he needs to make sure that he is staying between the net and the player, and that he doesn't let the puck get through, and that he uses his stick effectively, breaks up plays with his stick, and plays, great defense that way. And we've seen a lot of the smaller defensemen in the league use positioning to their advantage, and that's how they're able to play a high-level defensive game in the NHL without being a big 6'4" guy who's just going to throw everybody around. Not everybody is Dustin Byfuglien. But if you look at some of the other, smaller defensemen in the league, guys like Torrey Krug, guys like Cale Makar, who play very good two-way game, you see them use their skating and their positioning to their benefit as much as they possibly can. And that is what a guy like Jamie Drysdale is going to have to do to effectively play defense in the NHL. And I think he is certainly capable of doing that. So lastly, just to look at some comparables as far as current NHLers who I think Drysdale's game reminds me a lot of. The first one that really jumps out is he looks like another Cale Makar. When he plays, just the two-way game, the skating, the ability to create offensively, the shot and the distributing ability where it's not just one or the other, he reminds me a lot of Cale Makar. Obviously, you guys know how much I love Cale Makar. I bought his jersey. I'm a huge fan. I think Drysdale has the ability to be that type of defenseman. And obviously, Makar was taken 4th overall in 2017. I think I have Drysdale ranked 4th in this year's draft. I think there's a chance he goes 4th overall to Detroit. I think him and Moritz Seider as a young pair would be, in the future, absolutely incredible for the Red Wings. I see a lot of similarities in the game between Drysdale and Cale Makar. And for a second comparable here, Chris Letang. I think Drysdale could potentially even be better defensively than Chris Letang. Letang is a guy that a lot of, even Pittsburgh fans I've had on the channel complaining about his defensive zone play. But Letang has always brought great offensive ability, and he can quarterback the power play. He can really pass the puck, especially in his younger days. He was such a great skater, always has been a great skater at the NHL level. So, and again, on the smaller size. Now, Drysdale's a little bit smaller than Letang, but just as kind of a smaller two-way defenseman, I think Chris Letang is a great guy to compare him to. And just with the skating ability and the ability with the puck on his stick and to jump up into the play, especially a young Chris Letang. I think when you go back and watch when he was first coming into the league, his first 5-6 years in the league before the injuries really started to happen, I think that's the kind of player that you see a lot of that in Jamie Drysdale. So Makar, I think, is a more direct comparison, but I also see a lot of Chris Letang in him as well. So Drysdale, I am absolutely a massive fan of. I think he brings a ton to the table. Really, really awesome player, and I think he has, he's the number 1 rated defenseman in this draft for a reason, and I think he's got huge upside potential. Obviously, it's a lot of times takes defensemen a little bit longer to develop than forwards, but I think when Drysdale's NHL ready, he's going to come in and be an impact player. And that might be 2-3 years down the road. I don't know if he's going to be, I don't think he's going to be NHL ready necessarily next season, but I think you give it a couple years and he's going to come in and make a serious impact in the NHL. Similar to what Cale Makar did when he came in last year in the playoffs and was instantly a top 4 defenseman for Colorado. So, I see a lot of similarities there with Jamie Drysdale, and I think whoever drafts him is going to be getting a fantastic player with a ton of upside potential. So There it is, guys. My draft profile for Jamie Drysdale. I'm a big fan of his. I really, really like what I've seen from him. And a team is going to be getting a great player. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.